Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Law with AKP. In today's session, we are going to discuss an important comparison topic, difference between indemnity and guarantee under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Students often get confused between these two concepts because both involve protection against loss, but legally they are different. So, in this class, we will clearly understand all the important differences with examples and case law references. Let's begin. First, let us understand the basic meaning. Indemnity means protection against loss. In indemnity, one person promises to compensate another person for loss suffered. Guarantee means a promise to perform the obligation of another person if he fails. So, the focus in indemnity is compensation for loss, but in guarantee, the focus is responsibility for another person's default. Example of indemnity is insurance contract, and example of guarantee is bank loan guarantor. Now, this is this is the most important difference. In indemnity, there are only two parties. These are indemnifier, indemnity holder. But in guarantee, there are three parties: surety, principal debtor, creditor. Let's take an example. In insurance, insurance company and policy holder. Only two parties for the indemnity. But in bank guarantee, borrower, guarantor, and bank. There are three parties. This is very common exam question. Now, let's understand the nature of liability. In indemnity, the liability of the indemnifier is primary. This means he is directly responsible for compensation. But in guarantee, the liability of the surety is secondary. The principal debtor is primarily liable. The surety becomes liable only when the debtor fails. For example, insurance company directly compensates loss, but guarantor pays only after borrower defaults. Now, in guarantee, there must be an existing debt or obligation. Without liability, guarantee cannot exist. But indemnity may arise even without an existing liability. In the example, insurance protects future possible loss, but guarantee requires an actual obligation. Now, the purpose of indemnity is compensation for financial loss. Now, and the purpose of guarantee is to provide security to the creditor. Example, insurance gives compensation after accident. Guarantee gives confidence to bank that loan will be repaid. Now, let's quickly revise the indemnity case law. In Adamson versus Jarvis, Jarvis instructed Adamson to sell cattle, claiming that the cattle belonged to him. Adamson believed him and sold the cattle. Later, it was discovered that the cattle actually belonged to someone else. So, the real owner sued Adamson. Adamson suffered loss because he acted based on Jarvis's instructions. The court held that Jarvis must compensate Adamson. This case clearly explains indemnity, protection from loss. Now, let's revise the guarantee case law. In Berkmer vs. Darnell, one person promised to pay another person's debt if he failed. The court held that this is a contract of guarantee because there is a debtor, there is a creditor, and a surety giving promise. So, this case explains guarantee. Now, let's quickly revise the important differences. Indemnity has two parties, guarantee has three. Indemnity creates primary liability, guarantee creates secondary liability. Indemnity focuses on compensation, guarantee focuses on security. And in guarantee, default is necessary. Let's conclude this topic. Both indemnity and guarantee provide protection against financial risk. But indemnity is compensation for loss, whereas guarantee is security for another person's obligation. Indemnity involves two parties, while guarantee involves three parties. We also understood these concepts through important case laws like Adamson versus Jarvis and Berkmer versus Darnell. So remember, indemnity is compensation for loss. Guarantee is responsibility for another person's default. For exams, always remember right meaning, parties, liability, purpose, and case law comparison. Thank you. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to Learn Law with AKP. Stay tuned for the next topic.